Ahoy! Let's continue our adventure into the ocean of business guided by strategic management. Let's talk about the very basic, the concept of strategy. Strategy is a very commonly used term, but not everyone used it correctly.
Professor X, talking about the use of strategy. Do I need to have one for dating?
No, Jake, sorry, strategy is not a rosy term.
Are you sure? What about this video talking about the merger between American Online and Time Warner Media?
I did with as much or more enthusiasm as I first made love some 50 years ago.
Well, you got me, Jake. Some executives do feel very excited about making strategic moves like Mr. Turner did. The nature of strategy is very quirky. People often use strategy to mean different things. Think about how yourself would define strategy for a minute. This is a word cloud generated from the thought of strategy by students in one of my classes. Did you find some keywords that are coincident with your thought of strategy? Obviously, my class is collectively as smart or confusing as some strategy scholars. If you search for 2 videos on YouTube from Harvard Business Review on what a strategy is, you will find that one argues that strategy is a plan, while the other claims that a plan is not strategy. Dr. Mintzberg summarizes that strategy literature has defined strategy as a plan, a perspective, a position, a pattern, or a ploy. Which one of the ideas do you agree with? We cannot call strategy being all of those, or can we? Save the answer for a little bit. A word is most meaningful in a given context, like the temperature to the form of water. Water is liquid H2O above 0 degrees Celsius. However, below 0 degrees, water becomes ice. So, what is water? It depends on the temperature or context. Likewise, strategy exists in different forms, but some contexts construe its meaning most. Can you name some contexts where we most likely use the word of strategy?
I am thinking the actions. Military, sports, or hunting.
Exactly, Jake. You got very sharp strategic acumen. The true meaning of strategy is shown exactly in these scenarios.
I am not certain about using it in studying, dating, traveling, or building a house.
That's right, you are farther and farther away from the need for strategy.
But I need a plan to organize, right? Yes, a plan is what I need, just not a strategy. So what is the contextual difference between a strategy and a plan?
Good question. We most vividly need a strategy to deal with highly competitive situations. The stronger the competition, the greater the need for a strategy. Strong competition is generally characterized by several features: limited resources, multiple decision alternatives, unpredictable outcomes, conflicting individual goals, processes of achieving results not fully known and predictable.
Besides, there are competitors always watching and trying to achieve the same goals.
Absolutely. Strategy is a more potent tool than plan to control uncertainties in competitive situations. Now, with competition as the background, we can talk about some key elements that make up a strategy, the content part that is included in the strategy elephant metaphor. A full sense of strategy should consist of 3 things: a goal, a set of actions, and some deliberation over the logic of competition. Of these 3 elements, a set of actions is the most visible part to observers, and deliberation is the most secretive part. All 3 could be referred to as strategy in the real-world practice. But they are all incomplete in conveying strategy if a secret element number 4 is missing: consistency. The secret of strategy, or good strategizing, lies in the consistency among actions, deliberation, and goals. The consistency among these 3 elements delivers a strategy in its full sense. Without consistency, we may have nearsighted deliberation and actions taken focused on the actions themselves, not toward the achievement of an overall goal. It may lead to a missed target or even a disaster. Sometimes actions and goals are magically aligned without long-term thinking. Be careful about this one, because this may lead to some strategy in hindsight. The difference between being lucky and being strategic is that luck cannot be reproduced or planned, while strategies can. Other times, when deliberation cannot be implemented to achieve a desired goal, we get a fallacy, not a strategy. This may be caused by wrong presumptions about competitive situations or lack of motivation from the implementers. Now, putting it all together, we can think of strategy as being a series of interrelated and coordinated actions and thinking by a competitor to control competition in order to achieve competitive goals. Often it takes not just minds, but also hearts to make it work.
Thank you, Professor X. Here are my takeaway thoughts. Like water, strategy may exist in different forms: goals, a set of actions, or distinctive thoughts. Strategists need to piece the three together to make sure they stay in their nature in order to use them appropriately. Thinking along the concept of strategy makes one feel more in control. The results, however, are not guaranteed.
Exactly, Jake. Smart future leaders like you should now be able to figure out that the exact meaning of strategy when a CEO uses the term. I am confident that you can apply strategy better than many of them who don't have a complete understanding of its meaning. Believe it or not, understanding is only first step. Practicing strategic management is 10 times harder. This is both fortunate and unfortunate. Unfortunate because we don't have an optimal strategy in each business situation. Fortunate because nobody cannot win forever. Isn't that good for a newcomer like you, Jake? During the rest of our journey, we will explore the art and science of strategic decision-making. Let's sail on!